Welcome to Live Younger Longer, the podcast for vitality and longevity. Let's dive into today's episode.
Hey everybody, welcome to this week's episode of the Live Younger Longer podcast. My name is Jason Harris. I'll be your host today, and I'm really excited. Today will be a little bit different episode, probably a little bit shorter, but I want to kind of go through a case study of why optimization and precision measurement is so vitally important as you're going along your health goals. And as we get started today, guys, I wanted to remind you that this episode is brought to you by Harris Coaching Group. And I wanted to ask, what if 90 days could completely transform how you look, how you feel, how you perform, and most importantly, how you live? Most coaching programs do one thing, but here at the Harris Coaching Group, we do everything. We go after your body, your mindset, and honestly, it'll probably improve your relationships because we all know that if you feel better, you perform better. I want to help you get to the highest level of your vitality, your vigor, heck, even your libido, because we all know how that can affect relationships too, to get you to perform as you should be performing. And so using our proprietary Prism technology where we measure exactly where you are and build a precision plan to get you to where you want to be. And now also through us, we do have the opportunity and we have access to offer you physician-guided pharmaceutical grade peptides that are sourced right here in the United States. Look, guys, it's no guessing, no garbage, just real results. This isn't generic coaching. This is for your life that's engineered for performance. So go to harriscoachinggroup.com, fill out the assessment. Let's get to work. And so as we're going today, like I said, I wanted to kind of get into kind of a case study of one of my clients who used that as an example. It's an older lady in her mid 60s that just wanted to get in shape a little bit. And so as we started looking, what made me think about this was kind of the exact moment I looked at this client's Prism score. And again, this little Prism device, it actually measures your antioxidant levels in your living tissue. So we're looking at more absorption versus consumption. But when I looked at it, I was kind of realizing what they were saying in their diet wasn't really matching with what we were seeing on the scanner. Now, as we got started, I do a full body assessment, a full health assessment as we get started in our coaching program. It's pretty thorough. It takes about 30 to 45 minutes, and we go through everything because I want to know about you. This whole program is built around you. And so as we're going through this, she noticed some concerns that she had for, brain health in the future, heart health in the future. She had some family history with some of these issues. And what was interesting is I want to remind you that how we age, guys, is not up to chance anymore. We can directly affect how we age by feeding our body what it needs so it stays younger longer. That's what this whole podcast is all about, helping people get the most life out of every year that they have. And so as she was telling me about her diet, how many fruits and vegetables she was consuming a day, how much water intake she was taking a day, all these little metrics, it really got to a point where before I had this technology, we didn't have the ability to see, okay, is what she's telling me actually giving the results that we're looking for inside the body? And so everything kind of on paper looked okay for her age. She still had really good energy and stamina levels. According to her, I didn't physically take a look at her blood work, but according to her doctor, her blood work looked good. Everything looked fine. Then we are able to get this device. So again, we launched this device out to the public, actually open to the public this past April. And again, I got with her, this scan takes 15 seconds. And if I'm coaching you, I want to get you scanned because it's like any weight loss program that you might start. Most people, if they wanted to start losing weight, they would get a scale, right? They would get a scale or an Omron scale where they could actually see some of these metrics, get a starting point of where you're at. And so if you're going on a health journey with me, I want to know what's happening inside your body. I look at this device like a sonar machine. Like I think about the Titanic, and the Titanic, it can see that little dot of a iceberg, but if it had sonar technology to see what's going on underneath, that's when they could have avoided the crash. I want to help people avoid that crash. And so we got this technology, we started scanning her. Now, again, optimum on this device is 550. Her original score, and I'll kind of put up a timeline of her scores over the months, but she started about 110, which is in the red zone. It's very low. Again, optimum's over 550. So again, kind of what her blood work was showing and or her food journal, what she was telling me on paper, everything looked pretty good. But when we really got down to what was going on inside the body, again, she was scanning very, very low. And again, from our brain health all the way down, our brains need antioxidant protection. If you want to stay very sharp and cognitive in your long years, you need to protect your brain. All the way down to our body, every cell in our body needs antioxidant protection to combat against free radical damage and oxidative stress. I've used this example in the past, but if this is a brand new episode that you're tripping on, kind of give you a good example is an apple. We all know that if you start eating an apple or you cut open an apple for your kids, you put it on a paper plate, leave it out, it starts to brown if they don't eat it, right? That apple starts to oxidize, it starts to brown. Now, if you were to put lemon juice and almost ask any mother what's the hack is, they'll tell you lemon juice. Most people don't know why they put lemon juice on it, but they just know it works. You put lemon juice on that apple and it doesn't brown because that lemon juice is an antioxidant. It's putting a layer of protection over those apple slices so it doesn't brown. That's what really the antioxidants do to our body. It helps to put a layer of protection around our cells to combat against free radical damage and oxidative stress. Now, again, free radical damage and oxidative stress is almost where every age-related disease starts. So we want to make sure, again, for me, it's all about preventative health. It's all about preventative health. And I know my health budget, my supplement budget every month, honestly, is a couple $100. But I'm never at the doctor. I'm never sick. I don't have issues that I'm doing. I'm not on any prescriptions. I'm not on any of that stuff. So for me to spend a couple $100 a month of preventative health so that I don't have to go to the doctor with some major issue where now I'm reacting. It's reactionary health. Reactionary health is always more expensive than preventative health. And so this is what this device helps do. And so in this particular case, as we were talking, she thought that through her normal diet was doing really well. She said, my blood work looks pretty good. But when we actually got on it and we started talking about supplementation, this is where kind of everything changed a little bit because her first reaction was, I'm not interested in taking supplements. I don't care about taking supplements. I'm good. And the conversation then dwelled into, and it's because some personal experiences I've had in my family. I said, you might not care about supplementing for yourself. You might not care about taking supplementation for yourself, but your kids care. And if you're an adult watching, if you're a parent watching, let me tell you, your kids want you to age younger, longer. They want you to age well. And I know for me, I never wanted to age badly to where I was a burden on my boys. And also, for example, with my mother-in-law, who's lived a hard life because of a lot of life she's lived, she spends probably 80% of her time in a chair because she doesn't have the mobility. She doesn't have the strength. Her body's riddled with osteoporosis. She just has a lot of issues. So she's alive. She's living. Or really, let me put it this way. She's existing. She's not really living life, like living life to the fullest. I want to be living life to the fullest when I'm in my 70s and 80s. That's why I'm so passionate about this device and really getting data. So when I'm helping coaching clients, we can kind of get down to the root and we can be preventative toward our health. Because I think you and I share a similar attitude about going to the doctor and being pushed on a bunch of prescriptions. Like, I don't think we all want to be pushed on a bunch of drugs. And sadly, again, that's where a lot of docs, they're just trained to do that. Okay, here's a problem. Here's a script to fix it. Here's a pill to fix it. We can fix our bodies through nutrition. If anybody watching out there has high A1C levels, is pre-diabetic, pre-type 2 diabetes, or has type 2 diabetes, like certain things like that, cholesterol, all this, it can be lowered naturally. If you feed your body what it needs, your body can repair itself. You can reverse from being on that line of being pre-diabetic or full-blown type 2 diabetic, or even if you are type 2, you can actually help to reverse that by just giving your body the proper nutrients it needs. But again, how do we measure that? How do we know? And what I love about this device, again, it's non-invasive. It's simple. It's easy. So again, what it revealed when we first started scanning her, and again, she was at 110, was that the tissue level antioxidant rating was actually far off from what her food journal was showing me and even what her blood work was showing me. So again, if you're getting blood work, that's a good indication of the last 2 to 3 days. Now, certain metrics on it is kind of the last 2 to 3 days. That's why if you go get your blood work, and I'm sure there's a lot of men watching, and if you're on testosterone, that's why when you go do your blood, they'll tell you wait a good week from your last shot before you do it, because if you throw a shot in, you go give blood that next day, your testosterone would be sky high, because blood work's a good indication of the last 2, 3, 4 days. Now, when we're measuring in the tissue, it's a good indication. It's a good biomarker last 4 to 6 weeks, because again, we're measuring tissue, we're measuring absorption, what's actually getting into our body, being absorbed by our body, and actually getting to living cells in the tissue. That's what we're looking for. So again, what this device showed me in this particular case study was that what I was seeing on paper through her blood work and her food journal was different than what this scanner was showing me. And so we started making adjustments. And again, because she was concerned about certain things like heart health and brain health, especially as she got older, we put her on a product of ours called Youth. It's phenomenal. It's actually an epigenetic product, which means it helps to reset over 1,000 genes in the body to actually help them function like they did when we were younger. But it's systemic. It's from head to toe. And there's only 15 natural ingredients in it. And I love this product, and I've taken it daily ever since we launched it back almost 10 years ago, because for a lot of supplementation or a lot of multivitamins on the market, I can eat my way there. I can't really eat my way to Youth because of some of the epigenetic science behind it, number one. Number two, it's 15 ingredients sourced from some of the best diets around the world. So for example, one ingredient in that's purple corn. Purple corn's phenomenal for your body. But if you're not living in Peru, you're probably never going to eat it. You're never going to consume it. And so again, one of the things that it really helps to do, it helps to knock down that cytokine response in the body, which is, for layman's terms, inflammation. It helps to keep that cytokine response lower. One of the things it does, it helps kind of clean the plaque and calcium out of your veins and redeposit the bones. So it keeps your heart healthy, strengthens the bones. Like, those are a couple of little key benefits that it does, but it's really phenomenal for the brain. It's actually one of the only supplements on the market, period, that has true MRI brain activity studies that done it, where it showed increased brain activity when on this product. We did MRI studies on it, functional MRI studies. It's phenomenal product. So we started adjusting it, and she got on this product. And as we were going, and again, I'll throw this graphic back up on the screen, but it went from, December of being at 110 to February, she was at 210 to then April, she was at 320. So here's about a 4-month kind of case study of just being on one supplement that actually is bioavailable to the body. So these nutrients are getting into, she's consuming it, it's being absorbed and being fully implemented into the body so that the body's getting all these nutrients it needs. Within 4 months, she basically tripled her score. And then as she's on it, it continued to go and go and go. And so again, as we rescanned her, we could see how the score moved in those following weeks, and it translated to how she felt and performed. She had more energy. She was sleeping better. There was a lot of these little things that throughout the day, she was noticing that, again, by giving her body some of the nutrients that it was craving, it started functioning better. And again, I use this case study because here's a lady in her mid-60s that was having phenomenal results. Now, I did episodes in the past about kind of that compound effect. So for her, as we started mid-60s, as she gets on these products and we're actually measuring it, we're tracking it, we're making sure that her body's absorbing it. Think about what that compound effect for her will be over the next 3 years, 5 years, as she gets towards 70, 75. The quality of life that she's able to live. Now, think about if you're watching this and you're in your 20s or 30s and you start giving your body that proper nutrition now, how will that compound to how you age in the future? You're going to age slower. Now, what's interesting is Stanford actually just got with a study. And let me throw this graphic up on the screen. So what this graphic is showing is that Stanford did a study of a correlation between people with high scanner scores in the difference between biological age and chronological age. So what your age actually is versus how are you actually aging? Like what is your biological age? Because those can be different. Now, I've seen people go through these kind of studies where they're actually, chronologically versus their biological age was actually older than they were. So they might be, say, 50 years old, but their biological age was 55 or 60 years old, which means they're actually aging faster than they actually are. Now, what this showed, the Stanford study showed, was through this device, what it was showing that on average, they measured multiple different aspects inside the body. On average, it was a 4.2 year difference between your biological age and your chronological age. So basically, you were aging almost 4.5 years slower. Your biological age was 4.5 years younger than what your chronological age. And they didn't measure anything supplementation. It was just people with high or low scanner scores. And the people with the high scanner scores was actually aging slower. How amazing is that? Like, who doesn't want to age slower? I know I do. Like, I want the difference between my chronological age and my biological age to be as far as possible. And so, but that's what it was revealing, because what would the stakes would have been if we didn't have the ability to provide data, if we didn't have the ability to provide measurement? Well, what would have likely happened if some of those stuff wouldn't have been unnoticed? We probably would have plateaued with energy. We would have plateaued with recovery, or we'd have had slower recovery from the gym, from some of the workouts I was putting her through. Kind of wasted effort on trying to get your body to perform like it should. That's why nutrition is such a vital part of any coaching program, because again, you're only going to get the physical results you get depending on what your body's getting. What are the building blocks your body has so it can actually, use those nutrients to recover, to build, to become stronger, to become younger. And so again, if we wouldn't have had that, we would have started plateauing in a lot of areas. Energy would have kind of stayed the same or decreased. Recovery would have probably decreased. And it's just wasted effort. And so I want to invite you guys, if you're interested in, again, there'll be some links in the description. But again, I want you to find out your number. Again, if you're going on a health journey, I want to make sure that you have data of knowing where you start. You have a biomarker of where you're starting so you can see the improvement and where we can make tweaks to see where you're wanting to go. Like I was saying earlier, if you're going to want to lose weight, almost everyone buys a scale because it's just a good indicator of where you're starting. That's what this device is. You now can have these at your home. Again, one family can utilize one device. They just need a different profile in the app. So now you can go on this health journey together as a family. But again, it's just a way to track the data. Data doesn't lie. Measurement doesn't lie. You have to have that. So then you can know what tweaks you can start making in your supplementation, in your food, in your workouts, all these different things to help get that scanner score higher. All right. So we know we have good, solid antioxidant protection in your body. So, it's really, the best non-invasive nutritional score tool that you can have. And that's why I'm so passionate about it. It's awesome. But again, if you're going to go and you're going to spend your money trying to buy the right kind of foods and or grow your own foods, if you're going to spend the money on supplementation, you deserve to know if it's actually working or not. And again, I'll say this last little disclaimer. I did an episode about it not too long ago, I talked about it not too long ago, but make sure if you're buying supplementation, guys, you're buying it from the source. You're not buying it off places like Amazon or some third-party seller somewhere, because you don't know what you're actually getting. There's a lot of counterfeits on the market, and you want to make sure if you're consuming something, and it's really big, not only in the supplement world, but also in the peptide world. If you're swallowing a supplement or injecting yourself with a substance, you need to know it's good, clean product, that you're actually getting what you're supposed to be getting. And sadly, on the marketplace, there is a lot of garbage on the marketplace. And so if you're going down either one of those roads, then just make sure you're getting it from the source and you're not buying stuff off, whether it's off TikTok or Amazon or whatever, where you're getting your supplementation from. It makes a difference, because we have had people, like I said, I've been doing this for well over a decade, almost 17 years now. We've had multiple people that have brought me bottles that were supposed to be our product that weren't. They were counterfeit from China. And I know friends of mine in this industry that have actually taken some of those products and broke down and really had a lab look at what was in it. And even the ingredients that were supposed to be in it weren't in it, or weren't at the amounts that were supposed to be. It was just a counterfeit product that, honestly, they got from China and they got in the mail. So make sure, again, if you're ingesting something, if you're ingesting anything or injecting anything into your body, know where it's coming from. know where it's coming from. And I think we all had a good wake-up call to what that was back, 5-6 years ago, when people were injecting a lot of stuff they weren't really sure where it was coming from, and the effects that has come out since then. So again, you want to make sure that you really know the source of where it is, the cleanliness, the purity of it. Is there real clinicals behind it that can prove what they're saying, things like that. So again, I just want to kind of bring you a quick case study and show you why I'm so passionate about this and why it works so well. Because again, you deserve to know if you're spending money on this stuff. And if you're wanting to get good results that last, right, you have to have these data points. You have to have these measurement points so you actually know, okay, what I'm doing is working. I can see the progress. And again, on a mental side, going through a health journey, seeing some of these improvements mentally, it's a great shot in the arm so that you want to keep going. It's a great motivator to make you want to keep going. So with that, guys, again, I wanted to remind you that this episode was brought to you by Harris Coaching Group. And again, I really want you to think what a 90-day program, what 90 days, if that could completely transform the way you look, how you feel, really how you live, perform at your highest level. And most coaching programs focus on one or two things. I want to focus on everything. Your body, your mindset. And again, honestly, it'll probably even improve your relationships because your body's functioning better. So using our proprietary Prism technology, we measure exactly where you are and build a precision plan to get you where you want to be. And also through us now, you can get access to physician-guided pharmaceutical-grade peptides sourced right here in the United States. But again, with this program, there's no guessing, no garbage, just real results. It's not a generic coaching program. It's about your life being engineered for performance. So again, go to Harris Coaching Group, fill out the assessment, and let's have a conversation. With that, guys, take care. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.